Dear Mrs. Shufi, we know you must have played a great part behind the scenes with the opening of the International Hotel. Congratulations. Sincerely, Elvis and the Colonel. Who is this mystery person? Who helped shape the International Hotel? You're about to find out. This is Rob from the Always Elvis fan club. We have a couple people that are in Las Vegas. Today I'm joined by Joni and Terry Shufi, and they have a great connection to Las Vegas and the International Hotel. And Joni is on the right, looking lovely in pink. And Terry is on the left. That's her daughter. And I was recently introduced to her. And she said, you might want to talk to my mom because she might have some interesting stories. Well, we're here to hear some of those interesting stories. Joni was the wife of Alex Shufi, who was part of the International Hotel, but she was also Miss Nevada back in the early days, and she has a history of no other in Las Vegas. Joni and Terry, thank you for joining me at what I call Studio E.
Thank you for having us.
So, Joni, Vegas has been your home for how long?
56.
1956?
Right, 56.
Just give me a little history about yourself, how you got to Vegas, and all the wonderful things that brought us here to chit-chat with you.
I went to Tahoe first and then came to Vegas. And I asked for a job managing a hotel and I'd never been in one. But I got it. Yeah. Then I came here and got a job right away in a hotel because of that. Sahara Hotel. I became Miss Sahara. And they made me Miss Nevada. And I was second runner-up in the Miss Universe. Well, I won 50 beauty titles. I traveled with all the governors, and for 4 years. I governored to Mexico, bringing the first national convention. I traveled with Governor Sawyer back east. Anyway, then I went with the lieutenant governor to Canada, brought the first convention from there. Anyway, they were so excited I got the first conventions for them. They carried me out like a football player,
Mm-hmm. So at the time, she was Miss Nevada in the Miss Universe contest, but it was really the conventions she was bringing to town. Remember, this Vegas was relatively new at the time, and they had not had an international convention. And it was my mom that started bringing in these international conventions and her team with the governors well before my dad.
Yeah. I gave speeches bringing their wives. The reason they couldn't come, their wives didn't want them to come to Vegas because there was too many hookers, and things. So they didn't want their husband to go there on a convention. So I told them stories like more churches per capita in any other city. We have more everything, more per capita. And I gave them a fashion show and said, there's no hookers on the strip. There's just a normal town. So anyway, they clapped and said they'd go. Let their husband go.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work for Vegas. I did a lot of fashion shows, charity shows. They were all charity shows. And I raised $10,000 for the, St. Jude's Ranch for Children.
Wonderful. I didn't know that, Joni, but looks like you had some pull there in the early days in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I had a great time in Vegas, I knew all the stars. They all knew me. I'd go to Sinatra's birthday party, and with the Redskins, I had the most fun, though, because I love playing football.
Okay.
And I put out the first ball to open each game and go from town to town.
Joni, from some of the photos you provided, looks like you are quite the athlete, even a water skier. Tell us a little bit about that.
I was a champion water skier. In fact, I entered the men's race and won that. So they wouldn't allow women in the men's race anymore. But I had my own boat. I used to race my boat in the races, and then I'd water ski behind it. So I won trophies in boat driving and water skiing.
Okay.
The gold medal champion. He came to town. They asked me to make a movie with him, and we had to go water skiing, and he couldn't keep up with me. The weather turned real waves, big waves,
Hmm.
and he couldn't handle the waves. So I'm in Life magazine looking really good, and he's looking really terrible. I thought with Terry the water skiing, we'd put on a show. We did ballet on the skis, you know. She was really good.
So you water Terry, you did as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
thought
you brought your skiing expertise down from generation to generation.
but everything I did well. You know, I played golf. I was a good golfer in 1 year. I was under 100. And water skiing and ice skating, and Terry was in an ice show at 3 years old.
Oh wow. So Joan, I don't know if you can see, there's a wonderful picture of yourself and some guy named Elvis.
That's him.
Give the audience a little background on your connection with Elvis and your first meeting and this
But
picture
that's
here.
my meeting of him. That's backstage at the Sahara Hotel. And Mr. and Mrs. Burrell, who owned the hotel, introduced me to him. And because he liked me in their lounge, asked me out, and I turned him down. So now they begged me to go out with him and to get national publicity. So he had to come back again and ask me again with his tail between his legs. And I said, okay, I just have dinner with you, and that's it. But then when I dated him, he parked up on the hill, and I said, I don't have any of your songs, any of your records. I said, but there's one I like. And he sang me all these songs. So he finally came to Love Me Tender. I said, that's the one. He couldn't remember Love Me Tender. That's my coat he's putting on, yeah. My leather coat. And he signed that picture.
Right, you have that picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he got the original signed picture in the safe deposit box. Because he signed both sides.
Wonderful.
But anyway, so when I dated him, he came to my trailer. I was 18 when I bought a trailer. And beautiful little trailer right across from Tropicana. And he looked through all my records and he saw, you're right, you're not an Elvis fan. There's not one record.
Right.
So anyway, he kept trying to fool around. And I kept saying, no, no, no. And he didn't take no for an answer. So I grabbed him by the shoulders and I pushed him backwards and he hit my cheap coffee table and hurt his back, and we thought he broke his back. So I said, do I call an ambulance? I put Colonel Parker or Stan Irwin. What do I call? What do I do? He says, just let me lay here. So I just let him lay there. Pretty soon he was able to move a little and got up, and I took him out. All my neighbors were watching him come in, and then they watched him live out, and I had to say nothing happened, you know. So it was quite a night.
So you played a little hard. You played a little too hard to get with Elvis. Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, he tried too hard.
You tried to.
It's not easy. I was a good girl.
Well, looking at your pictures from back then, I could see why you had a hard time staying away from you, Joni.
Thank you.
Pretty lovely lady.
Yeah. Well, he tried.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me, because I didn't have any records. The next day at the Sahara, a guy came in with a pillow with a stack of records from Elvis's own collection. So I still have some that have been never opened, you know, that from his collection.
Wow.
You know?
Right, because basically you had told Elvis that you weren't an Elvis fan, so Elvis was going to make sure you got to hear some of his music.
Besides, I didn't have one record. Next day, I got every record.
There you go.
Yeah.
After that 57, you did this, little promotion, and you met Elvis. Did you know Elvis after that, or was it only back?
10 years later, I met him at the opening, at the hotel. I used to go to the Sands to see the Rat Pack, and they made me there love me. So I was invited every night. Saw the Rat Pack every single night there before. And he could have gotten $1,000 for that seat. I tried to give him $100. That's all I could afford, but he wouldn't take anything.
Wow.
But I saw them every night, and I used to play golf with Dean Martin and all the stars. Don O'Connor. I used to play golf and beat them all.
So you're a golfer. You're rubbing elbows with Dean Martin and
Sammy Davis. I played with him and I caught him cheating. you know, and he said, but got down his hands and he begged me to tell, not tell anybody. So I never did, you know.
You cheated at golf?
Yeah, he had a golf cart made with a ice chest next to him, glued or screwed to the seat so nobody could sit there. So he could park the golf cart a certain way, and you couldn't see him move his ball. But I was behind him in the tree, and I saw him. But it was fun. He was a lot of fun. They all were. I played with all of them. You know, I knew everybody in town, and they all knew me. And Ralph Lamb was one of my best friends. He gave me a gun and took me out to the range and let me shoot it. And he's just hanging out on your door, and nobody will ever bother you. That was a good shot, you know.
Well, you've lived a storied life for sure.
I have. Then I was Miss KTTV in Los Angeles. I used to take 35 trips a year for them. Open up all the grocery stores in Los Angeles and up and down the coast there. And did commercials for them, you know. So I was a busy girl. I made more, when I married Alex, I made more money than he did.
Well, because you did have like I said, you had the connections prior to Alex, really.
Yeah, I was making money from the Redskins. I was making money from the KTTV and the hotel. So he wasn't making. He lived in one bedroom apartment, a little dingy hotel.
Well, thankfully you connected because there's Terry next to you.
Yeah, right. I would give anything for her.
Oh,
His parents passed, and he was 4 when he was put in the orphanage. So that's how he got from Montreal to New York with his brother, my Uncle Charlie.
okay.
He lived there all through high school, and then he stayed there through St. John's University. And then Uncle Charlie, they went into the Army, right? They were in the Army.
Well, he got married and he went in the Army, and when he came out of the Army, it was Dear John letter. You know.
My Uncle Charlie had opened a gas station in California.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was coming out to work in the gas station.
And he came to Vegas.
And he broke down in Vegas. The car broke down in Vegas, and he stayed.
He asked for a job and any job. He said, "I'll be a busboy, and anything." And they said, "You're too qualified for a busboy." He gave him a job in the counting room. And so he got a job in the counting room, and he went up from there.
Wow.
One of the vice presidents, and I'm Mr. Prevalon Hotel was my close friend. He used to loan me the station wagon to come to Palm Springs and stay with him. And he said, "Who you marry will become the president." So I got the job. And then when I got to the Sahara, I dated Alex on the side, and we got married there. We had about 500 people at our wedding. Don Rickles was my usher at my wedding. Yeah. Okay, Jews over here and walks over here. And
He was
fun. Yeah. And then we went to the Flamingo. He was president of the Flamingo while we built International.
Right.
And Coyne called me up and said, "Joni, I need you." I was down at the beach. He said, "You got to come home because Alex turned me down." And he said, "You're the only one that can talk him into it." I said, "What do you think I can talk him into it?" You know, he said, "I know you can." So he said, "Get on a plane, don't pack, don't take your clothes, and get here, and I'll have a limousine out in front and bring you to the Flamingo." So I got on the plane, I got here, and there was the limousine. And he had 38 people all having lunch waiting for me. And so I got to talk to Alex, and they said, "You know what, Kirk, even though he's promised and built the largest hotel in the world," I said, "Take it." I said, "Because where you are, Del Webb's going to pick your brain and then fire you because Del Webb doesn't pay that much money." So I talked him into it, and we went to the Flamingo while they were building the International. Then we put a camera across the street at the landmark. The landmark.
Mm-hmm.
We put cameras on the landmark 24 hours a day. So whether we built it in a year, you know. And so we were able to see the International go up in 15 minutes, you know.
Right.
beautiful sight to
Home
see.
footage, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a picture here.
Okay.
There's Alex is kind of holding the pointer there, showing to the left is Kirk Kerkorian, and then there's Alex, and some not sure who the gentlemen are on the right.
Benninger.
Fred Benninger.
Fred Benninger. He was president of the MGM.
MGM, okay.
And I did a lot of the things at the International, decorated the gourmet rooms and the cocktail waitresses. And I did a lot of work for them. And I was the entertainment director. Brought Tom Jones along.
So she was the entertainment director as well as my dad's wife, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, so I used to go to New York, and Kirk's playing. Kirk and I and Alex went there, and we booked Barbra Streisand for the opening.
Right.
And
The Flamingo, which Kirk bought, that's where Alex worked there. And my understanding is he did that to help train the people for the International.
that's why we did it, and worked on the plans of building it. Because he had the people that have been working and doing that job for all these years.
Basically, he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you giving him that little extra nudge then, right?
President Sarah won for me. Because Mr. Perella, there was 5 vice presidents. And he said, if you marry Alex, I'll make him the president, So he treated me like a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
So I take credit for all this job.
And at the time, my mother was the celebrity, not my dad.
Yeah.
Sure, because of
I was in the front
obviously-
page paper every week.
oh, okay.
And the owner of the paper loved me as a friend, and not only as, business for it. So they used me a lot in the paper. But then the opening of Elvis, that was a great night because all the stars came.
Sure.
We had Tom Jones that I brought to town. I discovered him in New York from here. He was at the opening, and Roger Dangerfield, he was. Did you see that? He came.
Oh,
Yes.
This is
I think he's.
opening night of Elvis.
This
Right.
is the picture that you posted. That one.
Yep.
And this was in the LA Times recently.
This is the original newspaper of that one you posted. This is the original newspaper.
Oh, great. Elvis had a successful opening night. You said you brought a bunch of stars there, and here you are with Alex and Elvis.
Parker in the background.
People looking at Elvis still starstruck that his return to the concert stage. Can you kind of give the vibe of what this being in that room with Elvis and all these celebrities were back in 1969?
Well, Alex, look how excited Alex was. He was really excited that night that Elvis was so great.
Right.
He put on a great show. It was a standing ovation show. Probably the best show he ever put on. Opening night.
Opening night.
He was excited too. He wanted that to be a big success, and so did Colonel Parker. And Alex was just so excited. I never saw him like that.
Wonderful. And there you are with Elvis.
Yeah.
And that's that same time frame. So
After 10 years before I dated him. And then we had a long talk, yeah.
you're meeting Elvis again for the first time after 10 years, right?
And I asked him if he remembered that. I was afraid he'd remember that night,
Uh-huh.
And he said, "You never forget it."
Okay. But he was okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He told me I still look beautiful. And I didn't see that one before.
You're looking wonderful. And so after you gave Elvis the kind of the cold shoulder, are hanging out and everything's all good, right?
Mm-hmm. Everything's good, yeah.
Today we have Ticketmaster and we have all these, you can just buy tickets. But back in the day in Vegas, you had to make a reservation, right? People just
You did.
couldn't show up.
Yeah, the maitre d', everybody tipped the maitre d' to get a seat to see Elvis.
Right.
They had to tip quite a bit to see Elvis, down front. So all the maitre d's made a lot of money.
Yes. Emilio Muselli, right?
Emilio was a maitre d' at the
Right.
International.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his job because of me, and he always thanked me.
Oh, is that right? Where? Well,
His daughter and my daughter were in
We were
sitting in
friends.
Elvis's lap.
His daughter and I were friends.
So there was a picture in a magazine of them sitting on Elvis's lap. Elvis kept sending her gifts, record players with his music, and he sent her
They were like life-size teddy bears.
yeah, And so I said, you can't use all these. Let's give them to the St. Jude's Ranch for children every year to go in for the St. Jude's Ranch for children. He kept giving her things, you know.
Oh, I just wanted to intercede. They took them all to the orphanage because my father was an orphan. It was part of like a family
Mhm.
tradition. She wants me to show you this one. This is me.
So this is actually at the International?
It's at the International. That's that office where you had the interview from last time.
Right, right.
With my dad, that's the same room.
Wow. That's wonderful.
And this is when I dated him and he signed the picture.
So this is the
Oh, he signed it. Okay.
signed
The
picture.
pen wouldn't work right, so he turned it over and signed it again in the back. And that one's in the safe deposit box. I was sitting at the table out and a white tablecloth, and Colonel Parker and my husband was sitting there talking about the contract, and they started writing it on the tablecloth. And so they wrote the whole contract on the tablecloth. So I jumped up and ran to the PR department, told them to get a photographer in there and get a picture of the tablecloth, you know, for the paper. So that's what they did. They brought a photographer in. They held the tablecloth up and took a picture of it. Did you see it?
Yes. So what you're referring to, Joan, is the contract they negotiated for the multi-year deal at the International.
In the movie, they got it wrong. They got in the movie. It showed they did it in the showroom, but they didn't. They did it in the coffee shop.
You're confirming that the signatures happened and all the little scribbling and contract numbers for Elvis's extension at the hotel happened at the cafe shop.
First contract, right?
What did you think of the Baz movie overall?
So it was done very well, but it wasn't accurate. You
Mhm.
know, it wasn't accurate, but it was done. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought Austin Butler did a really commendable job of being Elvis, and
Oh,
I
he
thought
was
it was
great.
great.
He was great.
the costumes and all that was
Great.
just wonderful. But again, there's inaccuracies. But there's nothing inaccurate with you because you were there. How long did Alex stay at the International after Elvis's opening? He was there for.
He retired in '72, right around there. After they got divorced, my dad stayed on a couple more years. He moved into the hotel.
Okay.
But I still would come in there and see the shows.
And then when Baron Hilton bought it, he stayed one more year,
I think one
maybe one more year, and he and Baron didn't see eye to eye, and my dad was encouraged to retire.
Baron Hilton tried to buy me against Alex, you know, and I told him to go to hell. You were lucky to have Alex, is what you were. You know, forget about it.
You know, it's a great story. From breaking down in Las Vegas to managing hotels, and with your influence, Joan, he continued to move forward, and
He deserved it. He was very smart.
Remember, my dad was living in the hotel.
okay,
So I would go stay with my dad, and we would go, like Emilio's daughter and I would go hang out in Elvis's suite. He always had lots of candy, you know.
oh wow,
He would let us play hide and seek in his dressing room, you know, where all the clothes were, his wardrobe. And, it was a fun place to hang out as a kid around Elvis's suite.
so Terry, you got to use Elvis's suite as a playroom.
Yeah, right.
Yes. He was a nice man. He was like a big kid. He'd get down on the floor to talk to us. You know, all the adults would be up here very serious. He would get down and talk to us, you know.
Did you just happen to go up there because your dad was up there, and then you guys were playing, or how did that work out for you to be up there?
There was always some sort of meeting, or they were reviewing something,
Mhm.
and then they would have candy and toys for us kids when we would run around. I mean, I lived there with him when he was there. I was staying with him, so
Okay.
I would just kind of go where he went. It wasn't just the Elvis suite. I mean, we went to different.
Places, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, that's a pretty good gig.
Yeah,
Terry.
it was very fun, and I knew he was different. You know, I knew he was special, even amongst the other celebrities. didn't always know his music
Yeah.
Till later. But so I mean, I saw him every year, several times a year. So by the time I was 10, I knew him pretty well. The last time we saw him that I was with you would have been 76.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good.
So you went, was that at a concert somewhere on tour that you saw him?
I think
No, here.
backstage at the hotel. I would.
Oh, at the Hilton.
Yeah. In fact, we were in the car with my stepdaughter and Terry when we heard he passed away.
The Associated Press is reporting that singer Elvis Presley has died at Baptist Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, at the age of 42. Presley was rushed to the hospital.
And she screamed, and I thought I'd run over somebody, She screamed so loud. Remember Melody screaming? Because Elvis had died, You're too young, that's what I forgot.
Yeah, a little bit younger than you, because you're still young at heart, so it's all good, right?
Yeah, I'm very young.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
Well, ladies, I appreciate the time.
Well, thank you so much for putting this together. This was
Yes.
great. It worked out really well.
But this interview, because I absolutely adore Las Vegas and the international and the history, and hearing it from you directly, Joan and Terry, has been
Well, thank you.
wonderful.
You've been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Joan. Your history of Las Vegas is immense. Your connections with Elvis, that it's been a wonderful time talking to you, as well as you, Terry. Didn't know that you were playing in Elvis's suite, but it sounds very cool. Thank you both for joining me, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Mhm. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.